Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I am going to make some meatballs today. I thought about patties, but I think meatballs would be just fine today. I'm also going to be using my bone broth for the gravy, as well as my gelatin that I made. I've got a pound of ground meat here. I am going to add, I'll show you. I'll just put you down here and you can see what I'm doing. Let's see if I can turn you down a little more. I'm adding wheat germ to it. Most people add breadcrumbs. I add wheat germ for the B vitamins. An egg as my binder to hold this together. It also increases the protein. Like adding the wheat germ adds more B vitamins into it. This is my blend of salt. It's not all kelp. It's iodized salt and kelp, 50-50. But if you're going to try using it, use 1/4 kelp to 3/4 1/4 teaspoon of kelp to 3/4 salt until your family gets accustomed to it. I had to work my family into that. Now, I'm going to do something different. I have these red peppercorns, and they're hotter than black pepper. Why not? Okay, I'm going to put about a tablespoon in. Let's see what it does. I have no idea, except that it's got heat and flavor, so I say if it's got heat and flavor, it should be good. Now, I am going to bake my meatballs. For like 10-15 minutes. That's it. They're done. Then all I have to do is make the gravy. And if I don't have any fat off the pan, I'll use butter. Like I said, I can use butter in place of it if I don't have enough drippings. Because the drippings, when you say drippings, it's usually just the fat and whatever particle of meat stick to the bottom of our flavoring that's on the bottom of your pan. When you take the meat out, you see little bits. That's all it is. Now I'm going to do something different. This is poultry seasoning, and I'm going to add it to this because the poultry seasoning smells so good. And I'm going to put about 1/4 of a cup in there. I'm going to mix this up. Like I said, I like to play with things in the kitchen, but stay within the boundaries of the rules. I had to learn those rules before I could break them. You're going to need a baking pan. If you're going to bake them, other than that, put some oil in your pan and fry them. I am going to grease the baking dish and put it in there. That's an unusual smell. I know you always see me smell the food. Say, why is she smelling it? That's to make sure the seasonings. You can smell your seasonings. When you eat it, you taste it. These are things that you have to do. So your taste buds and your smell have to be up and working. When I'm sick, everything is bland because I can't smell and taste anything. So we have boiled dinners and very simple stuff. And my son said, Mommy, are you almost well? Because I can't taste, I can't cook. I mean, I'll wing it. We'll have hash, we'll have sandwiches, we'll have soup, but everything's got to be in a measurement out of a recipe because I can't taste. Now let me get the rest of this stuff. Hold on a minute. Okay. I have 1 pound of ground meat here. A lot of people misinterpret and call people chefs. People go to a culinary school. Culinary school is a cooking school. And these people spend years there learning flavors, how to mix them, terminologies, and what to do and everything else. Nobody has a right to call them a chef unless they've gone to culinary school. I'm a cook. I'm not a chef. I'm far from it. Julia Child was a chef. She went to school to learn how to cook. Matter of fact, she went to Smith College. James Beard was a chef. He went to culinary school. Ramsay Gordon went to culinary school. But unless you've gone to those schools, you cannot ever call yourself a chef. That's a title and a degree that they've earned. I hear people say that you can't call yourself a chef unless you've done that. Then you can. I love cooking. And I like to experiment in the kitchen and stuff. And when I was learning, I had to learn all the proper ways and all the rules of seasonings and everything else before I could get to the point where I'm at now. I had to learn to make plain French white bread. I wanted to make mayonnaise. I went through every route, every shortcut you could think of. And I finally found the recipe with a binder that held it together in all kinds of weather. But if I didn't learn those cooking terminologies, and I didn't learn what the utensils were for and everything else, I wouldn't know. And I wouldn't be able to do some of the things that I do. But that doesn't make me a chef. I won't allow anybody to say that to me. You can call people a good cook or a cook. But if you haven't earned that degree, you don't get that shirt that chefs wear when they walk into the kitchen. They've earned that through trial and error and everything else. It's not easy. So if you wish to be a chef, you have to go to culinary school, and you do get a degree. But they have to heighten their taste buds. They have to heighten their sense of smell, because they have to be able to smell what they're doing, and they don't have to measure things out. They adjust it. I've got to put the oven on 425, because we're only going to cook them for a short bit. They know different oils, different vinegars, how they react, how food reacts, and everything else. So I admire those people who go through all of that, because that's a lot of work. Like I was watching one chef, and he was making chocolates and candy. And people saying, "Oh, that looks so easy." He said, "No, don't think it's easy. You do not know how many times and how much work it went for me to perfect it." So I knew what he was talking about. It's a lot of work. And chefs go around the world. People share recipes with them. They take ideas from other countries and they bring them to their country and they try them. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not an easy thing. Well, we got 20. We're gonna have about 20 to 25. So if you eat at a restaurant with a chef, and he charges that price, and you say it's a bit steep, realize you're paying for his education and everything else that he learned to perfect his skill. One time I went to International House of Pancakes with my girlfriend, and I ordered a dish. Oh my God, they did not know what they had in that kitchen. That I must have been a young person, but he knew what he was doing. I told her, "You compliment the chef for that meal." I mean, my eggs weren't overdone or underdone. They were perfect. The whole dish was put together beautifully. And I was not going to walk out and not let him know what a beautiful job he did. And I have been in restaurants, and they served me. Meals have been greasy, and they have not gotten a compliment from me. I ordered a simple BLT, and it was burnt. Hello? You know, I would be afraid to ask for egg Benedict. Heaven knows I might have a raw egg cracked on a burnt bagel. And I've gone to other places where they slap the food on to the table where you're eating, and the food slides from one end to another. That's not even presentable. But if I get a good dish, I compliment. And I send, and I tell the waitress to please send my compliment to the chef. And I know they're not a chef, but they're working on it because of where I'm eating. I know chefs wouldn't work there. But I compliment them, and I know those people feel very good. I mean, I went to, was it not Applebee's? Somewhere I ate. Oh my God. I ordered a dish. The meat was tender. The gravy was full of flavor. And it was a simple little place. Very simple. I can't even remember what it was. Well, anyway, I paid for it. I mean, it was a $30, $40 dish. It was so good. And then they came out with the dessert. And I said, that's it. I'm down. You got to tell everybody, whoever cooked all of this, tell them it was fantastic. The meat was not tough. It was not raw. The gravy had good flavor. Everything that was put on the plate together, they had an appetizer salad before, and the salad was nice. I mean, the salad wasn't that great, but it was nice. But the main meal and the dessert were like on top. And they asked me, did I want a glass of water? I said, oh no, glass of water, please. I don't drink. So we're waiting for the oven to get up to 425, and I'm going to bake those 10 minutes, and I will be back. Okay, let's continue. I cleaned my dishes up and stuff, and my son had to talk to me a bit. One of my sons have an issue, and they wanted my help with an issue. Okay, let's scrape the drippings out. I'm showing you. And that's how much I have left. Let me turn it down, it'll be easier. I have that little bit. I'm going to add another 2 tablespoons of butter to it. So see, even if you bake it, you can scrape the drippings off. And we're going to mount this and get it warm. I'm going to have it on simmer right now because I want to talk to you. Now these are the meatballs. It's a small bowl. It doesn't look like much. But this little bit that you see here, just the meat alone is 125 grams. Now adding an egg to it is 6.5. And the wheat germ as well, I added 3 or 4 more grams of protein. So though this looks like a little bit, there is a lot of protein in this dish. And we haven't even made the gravy yet. And I'm going to be using my bone broth. And on top of that, we're going to put the gelatin in. The gelatin's melted, it's so hot in the kitchen, okay? But the gelatin is going to be for your joints. And the bones are going to have minerals in them. So between those two added to this, anybody who has this dish is going to be quite relaxed, as they say, almost like a high. If you've ever seen dogs that eat bones, they look like they're on a high, or cats where they get catnip, or a loco weed for horses. The same thing happens when you add minerals. You get so relaxed and comfortable. You can't afford to stay agitated. I mean, you've got all those minerals flowing through your body, and the calcium and the joints, and you're just going to feel good. Now, if you want to be happy, the vitamin that makes one person happy is a lot of vitamin C, believe it or not. But you can't take too much of it unless you take everything in a balance, or you give your kidneys a problem. I tell you, it's a whole balancing act. That's why I find it easier. Yes, I take certain vitamins because I know I don't go outside a lot into the sun because I have I'm allergic to the heat, so I have to take vitamin 3, but I can't take vitamin D3 unless I have A, so I sort of balance things out. But I know that if I can get it in the food and balance it, we do quite well, because it's very difficult. If you had to take vitamins, it'd be as big as a dinner plate and about that thick. And that's everything that you need for the day. You'll have your proteins, your calories, and everything. I don't think anybody wants a tablet that big to work on. So as you can see, the body needs a lot, and we have to care for it. So it's better if you can get all of it in, and if you do something and you add a little extra of this because you know it's going to be going in that direction. But always remember, it's the cook in the house, whoever's cooking, it's your responsibility to give them the best health possible. If you don't care and you buy instant foods and stuff, you really don't care. You're going to have to, one way or another, you've got to get back in that kitchen. I'm sorry, you just can't get around it. All right, this is about 3 tablespoons. I'll get you over here, and I'm going to have everything behind you, so you're going to have to work like that. I have got to get this house clean. I am just done with it. Okay. Now, because I'm going to add all these minerals, and I have the wheat germ, I'm just going to keep on adding the B vitamins because I know I'm going to need them. Let's see how much that is. Then I'll have a better idea. Now remember, we're making a roux right now. And as you make this roux, you can scrape up the drippings that stick to the pan. I scraped mine off the baking sheet and poured it in here so I could have a bit of flavor. We need a little more flour to that. So we'll get this roux going. Put that brown and let me put this up. Now, because there's fat in this, we'll take some lecithin and We'll dilute it. That does smell good. This is how hot my kitchen is. Look at that. This was frozen. So with all this bone broth, I love the smell of toast. Watch it get thick. Now I'm going to add some water because I've added enough of that. I told you that time I wanted to see the Dallas Cowboys. I had powdered minerals. They say use just a pinch or so in your food. I poured a half a cup in it. The boys quit arguing and Tony went to sleep and I got to see my football. I poured it in that soup. So I know how to put my family down. And they slept. Everybody snored in the house. I was so content because I could watch my game. Now here is the gelatin. Just that little bit was still gelatin. I can't believe it. Don't worry, it'll melt in time. Can you imagine how rich this is with everything I put in it? Come on, you're still melting. I can see the gelatin. See, when you have a good butcher, man, he can help you. You can get bones and cook them down, and the fat he'll give you. Oh, I'm thinking about asking for fat so I can do my own lard. For a minute, I almost lost that word. Okay, now we've added all of this. I'm going to get it back in the refrigerator and I'll be right back. Come on, bed. That's why I don't salt my stocks or anything. So I can sit there and cook with them. I'll add the salts and flavors at the time that I need it. We're going to add a little bit of salt to this. I am not adding any more of that pepper, but I'm going to add some seasonings into this gravy. Not much because the meatballs are loaded. I'm just afraid of using that pepper. It might be too hot. Now, because these meatballs are already cooked, they're basically done. I'm just going to simmer this to heat them through and mingle with the gravy is what I'm going to do. I should put the red pepper flakes in. Should put those red peppers. Let me go get my mortar. Oh, what I hear is carry through. Once you, yeah, I know. I'm not going to put as much in. I'm putting a pinch in. You can smell the heat in those things. They are hot. all over that. That's it. They are done. And this little meal, you would never guess there's over 130 grams of protein in it. And if you eat just 20 grams a meal, how many people can you feed in this meal? Calculate it. They need 20 grams of protein. You've got 130. Let's say 120. So you got 20, 40, 80, 100, 120. You feed 6 people off this little bit that I'll show you again. Off this little meal. Off this dish. You could feed 6 people and they would get exactly what they need. Isn't that nice to know? And the gravy is not greasy, so I'm not going to add any lecithin into it. But if yours is, or you have, and you worry about your fat, you can take a tablespoon of granular lecithin and put it in and stir it up, and it will break that oil down in fat. So that's it. I haven't decided if I want to make mashed potatoes yet or what I want to serve with it. Probably mashed potatoes and a salad. And I've got lots of different mashed potato recipes, which I think you already know. I've been showing them to you. So listen, take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.